Welcome to the Profit by Design podcast. And thank you, Kaitlyn, for joining us again today. Kaitlyn is the How to Hire the Best strategist. And full disclosure, she is also my daughter, which will become evident in this episode today. And this is a continuation of last week's episode where we began to talk about why A players need other A players. So I'm excited to jump in. I'm getting real with you today. So this episode is truly one of the most vulnerable things I've ever shared publicly. I'm opening up about my personal story and the hardest season of my life. But more importantly, I'm sharing how my team carried me through it. It's important for me to share this because work isn't just about business. It can support your life in ways that you never expected it to. So through this conversation, you're going to walk away with some powerful tips on leadership and resilience and the impact of intentional strategic planning. And I hope that my message inspires you to take action, whether that's leading differently, building a stronger culture in your company, or setting up your business in a way that truly supports your team. 2 years ago, my entire life changed. I went through a massive transition, starting over from scratch with no money. I literally had the clothes on my back and my laptop, experiencing heartbreaking loss. So I lost my 36-year-old baby brother, who was more like a son to me because of the age difference, and two of my very best friends passed away. So I had to rebuild my life in ways that I never even imagined, all within 6 months of each other. I truly had to make some of the hardest decisions of my life so that I could be safe and healthy. It totally turned my world upside down. I lost my home and my community, truly everything that I had worked so hard to build. It just felt like a lifetime of loss, all within a few short months. And in the midst of all of this, my role on the leadership team at Tap the Potential truly could have just fallen apart. It could have been significant consequences for our business owner, Dr. Sabrina, but it didn't. And this is because of the foundation we've built. I truly can't imagine being where I am right now today to work through that transition and still desire to build a future full of love and full of opportunities had it not been for our team at Tap the Potential. You know, Dr. Sabrina and everyone on our team are A players. All of you guys rallied around me and you inspired me and you gave me the space and the time and the support, not just to survive, but to heal and thrive. And my team became my safe space to feel comfortable and to do all of the things that I needed to do and show up as my authentic self. Work less when I needed to. They picked up gaps when they needed to and supported me and just loved me through this. They gave me the opportunity to rebuild my life. And this new life is safe. It's peaceful. It's supportive. It's so full of love, and it's above and beyond anything that I had ever imagined. It is so incredible for you to be sharing your story today. It's been an honor, not just as your daughter, but a team member, to be able to support you through this. And I'm really curious, why are you sharing this now? Well, Kaitlyn, it really took time to heal. Mm-hmm. There was so much to process. There were so many things to overcome. I am so passionate about business owners and their team members fully embracing work supports life. So yesterday, I was on a call with one of our clients, and she's been in our program for over a year now. And she blew me away. She said, I finally get it. I finally get what it means work supports life. And I'm like, what do you mean you just now get it? You've been in our program. This is what we're all about. And she said, but it took this long to click. Mm-hmm. It's because I get to do the things that I want to do outside of work. And I want you to remember your motivation to show up in your business and make it successful, or your motivation to show up in your career and be successful in that, is completely fueled by what you want to experience in your life. If you're a business owner, this is why your business exists. So, Kaitlyn, I'm coaching business owners every day. And I see how dedicated you are to your team members. I see the hard work that you do, the hard work you're putting in to support your team, to make payroll. I spoke to a business owner recently who could not buy her own family Christmas gifts, but she bought her team members Christmas gifts. So we see all of these things happening in the back end. But I want to ask you this. Could you imagine your team member going through a difficult situation and a transition like I did and not even knowing about it? Or can you imagine knowing about it, but not being able to give them the time, the resources they need? Maybe it's just a few hours off of work to handle life things that come up during these situations or appointments. Could you just imagine not having your team set up so that they get what they need? So if you tune in, and as I shared earlier, you already know Kaitlyn's my daughter. And Kaitlyn, I truly appreciate your support. We do life and work together. And all of this it's beautiful. And I know it's very rare. And I don't take any of that for granted. I'm so grateful for you every day. And if you had not been with me at Life and Work, these past couple of years, I just don't think I would be here today. So I just want to say how much I appreciate you for that. And I want to shout out our team. Mm-hmm. I love each and every one of you. And you will never, ever know the impact that you made on my life. So thank you all. So Kaitlyn and I are going to be a gift to you today, because you never know what might happen. And we want to make sure that your business is prepared should the unexpected happen to you or your team member. And we're going to share with you exactly what our team has in place to support one another. So everything that was in place for me to be able to get through that transition, we're going to disclose it. And when we're coaching business owners, we want to ensure that everything is taken care of for the long run. So this is what it means to be a sustainable business. This is what it means to have A players who support one another and who support you as a business owner, and keeping you out of burnout. This is the true meaning of work supports life. I can't think of, much better examples than what I just shared. So Kaitlyn, let's just go ahead and dig into tips for business owners to help them equip their A players with the support that they need. So what is the first thing that comes to mind for you?
I mean, you've said it, and we said it in part one. We have each other's backs first. Mm-hmm. Show up as full humans, supporting one another. We have each other's backs. And take that a step further, we have regular touch points with members on our team, so that, again, we can check in and ask, how might I support you today? And sometimes, I'm a task people. For those of you who understand people map, you'll understand that tasks just drive me and they get me pretty energized. Not everybody understands that, and that's okay. But sometimes I'm preparing for our one-to-ones and I've got all my tasks down. I've got my checklist. But when I hear the question from you, Amy, or Dr. Sabrina, how might I support you today? Sometimes I need support with my mindset. Sometimes I need support with identifying the one thing. You know how you were saying that 20%. What are the 20% of activities that move us forward? But we have this open line of communication. And when we go into our one-to-ones, whether it's 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, whatever that looks like, I know I will leave that meeting feeling supported because, again, we start with that question of how might I support you? And it sets up this regular cadence for me as a player to be able to start identifying what support looks like so that I can ask for it.
That is one of the most powerful questions that you can ask your team members. And I want to be very clear and transparent here. Your team members might not know what support they need, especially if they're not accustomed to being asked that question. You bring up such a brilliant point about a mindset. Sometimes they might just need to talk through something. And what we're not talking about here is creating a situation where the personal life takes over the work life. This is simply a coaching culture where we're transparent, where we know what our team members are needing. And support could look like, I need to take a half a day off work on Friday so that I can go handle some errands for myself. Support might look like, can someone else send out this email? It may look like, I need a day off. It could just be just you asking me what support I need is enough.
Oh, and that's happened so many times. Sometimes I just need to talk it through. But what I think is so helpful about taking that approach is I start to see the relief with business owners when they do set this up. At first, it's hard, it's challenging. We understand it can be challenging to set up these intentional time blocks to meet with your A players. But when a business owner comes into How to Hire the Best and they're just like, oh, I can breathe again. I feel like I'm not alone. I have an A player who gets me and I get them. And we have open line of communication. We are transparent. And they're telling me what support looks like. That doesn't happen overnight. That happens with small intentional steps and conversations that you're having over time. And it can be as simple as, how might I support you? It could also be, what wins are we celebrating with you today? Because you'd be surprised what your A players will say. And that alone can start unlocking what it is that they care about, what's important to them, what their core values are. So I say to you, don't overthink it. If you're that business owner who's thinking, gosh, where do I get started? Just start with that. Ask people what wins they're celebrating and just show up for them here and there and take that invested interest in hearing what they have to say, because it will support the growth of your business.
Absolutely. I know when I was in the height of this transition, it wasn't so much of what team members could actually do for me. It was getting that time with them and seeing them smile. I could feel their love. And we're a completely remote team. Just knowing that I could reach out when I needed to was enough. And sometimes if you're experiencing such a huge life challenge, it could just mean listening and helping your A player walk through and get them out of their head and walk through whatever next steps they may need to take. Because when you're facing burnout, you're not going to be thinking as clearly as you typically would. So procrastination happens, and overanalyzing and overthinking things is going to happen, and it's going to typically freeze you up. So just being there to talk to them and support them means everything. Truly just making those meetings regular, scheduled, and expected. So don't bring in a team member, start having one-to-one meetings with them, and then drop off thinking, okay, well, they're here now, they know what they're doing. No, these meetings need to continue. And if you're not sure what we're talking about with the meetings, book a call with Kaitlyn at topthepotential.com, and she'll walk you through some resources that we have that will support you. And another thing is, by having immutable laws for your business really helps team members know and expect what support they're going to receive. So one of our immutable laws is lead with love. And we actually just did a podcast episode on that recently. But when I, as a team member, know one of the core values is lead with love, I now understand my team cares about me, and they're going to show up with love through whatever it is that I'm going through. So Kaitlyn, let's talk about the systems setup, because that's a really big key. And it's one thing that most business owners do not have fully functional in their business. So if you don't have systems created, you truly don't have a business. I'm going to be bold and just say, because your business is not sustainable. Without the systems, one team member being absent from your company could shut the whole thing down. Mm-hmm. So when you're setting up your systems, this could be done in a project management tool. They really need to be set up so that the processes in your business are outlined step by step. So someone else could come in and take over your role at any given time. Kaitlyn, you fascinate me with your task-driven mind and your organizational skills. So share with me just one tip. If a business owner is saying, hey, Kaitlyn, I have no systems, I don't like technology, what can that business owner do to just get started to set up systems?
Download an app similar to Loom, any video app that you can, and just start screen recording your system. Anytime you're doing a task, and again, I can give another tip for those who may not be behind the desk, but if you are and your tasks are done through the computer, you can start just taking videos of yourself doing these tasks, demonstrating them. And AI is pretty incredible now. And if you use something like Scribe, it will actually create your very own step-by-step instructional guide, and it can act as an SOP, both in video form and in written form with photos. So I think it really is all about working smarter, not harder. And while you are doing the task, just go ahead and bring in a tool that can support you in starting to document those things. As business owners, we have many hats, many strengths, and we are like an octopus, probably doing different things at once, until we hire that team that we can start to delegate to. But if you take that one step of starting to record what it is that you are doing, you're taking one step in that direction to being able to create something that can be delegated to someone else.
That's brilliant. And it really doesn't take that long. So when we think of creating SOPs in our business, it feels very overwhelming. It's daunting. There's so many different things and we're not sure how to do it. But truthfully, I'm working on this systematizing my role as lead strategist at Top the Potential. So everything that I'm doing now, I'm doing the recording, Kaitlyn, and then setting up that system. And it really does not take that much longer, especially if you are interested in using an AI tool. And what that means is I am making sure that this role can be supported if someone else needs to step in. So if I need you to come in and run our groups, you could do that. So this is important.
It's all about relieving that key team member dependency.
Exactly.
And you have a lean, but you have a mighty team, right? And so it really is all about understanding what is going to move that needle forward. And so when we were talking more about our limitations around working that 25-hour work week and how we show up, we are focused each day on those $10,000 an hour activities.
Yeah.
And as you continue to grow and build your business, what we are talking about today, systematizing things, that is a $10,000 an hour activity that you'll see an ROI on, because you'll be able to start working less, achieving more, and maybe even delegating to other people on your team who can really step in and pick things back up. And when you take that step of documenting your processes while you're doing the work, I've seen our business owners come into group before and say, oh, it's so incredible because now that I have an A player that I trust and I've systematized this in an easy to digest way, I can hand this on over.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So don't strive to get it perfect the first time. Lean on your team members. So last summer when Dr. Sabrina unexpectedly took, I think it was 8 weeks off, I took over the podcast. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I was able to do that is because everything is systematized. We keep that in our project management tool. So I could just see step by step where everything that needed to be done, there were links to it, everything. And it really allowed me to show up with ease. And what happened was when Dr. Sabrina came back and we decided that I would just continue owning the podcast, I said, Dr. Sabrina, there's too many steps in the system. Can I reduce them? And she said, absolutely, do what you need to do. And this is because your team members are focused on that one thing in their role. So this allows them the freedom, the mind space to look at the system and refine it, really acknowledge any gaps that exist or lessen the steps that are there and look for ways to be more efficient. So
you said something that really stuck with me, though. You said ease.
Yes.
So I'm curious, when you think about creating ease, as it relates to our clients, what have you heard around this notion of systematizing things because it creates that ease? What wins are our clients celebrating because they are putting the systems in place in their business?
Oh, so many wins. So Dr. Sabrina shared a couple of weeks ago on the podcast that one of our clients said, I don't have to show up to work unless I want to.
That's a mic drop moment.
I mean, how would that feel? If you knew everything was set up and your team knows what to do, when to do it, how to do it, you don't have to show up unless you just choose to. You have to get everything out of your head. And this, again, goes to your key team members. Every role that is critical needs to be systematized. And then you're going to experience ease as you refine those systems. And another thing is not having too many systems, not having too many things set up that you're doing. So we're continuously looking for what would make this easier or unnecessary. So I want to keep getting things off of my plate. And Kaitlyn, you tell me this all the time now. I'm the delegating ninja. Every time I look at something, I think to myself, should I be doing this? Mm-hmm. And as a business owner, that's what you need to do to be able to work on your business and show up as the true visionary of your business. So the other thing that we do is we limit our working hours. And I recognize every single business can't do this for all of your roles, but the 25-hour work week allows us to be fully present when we show up. So we're not hitting, hour 39 or 52 completely exhausted and really not being productive because we do have that 25-hour work week. And now this just doesn't magically happen overnight. I don't know how long I've been in the lead strategist role, maybe 3 years or so. And I'm still every week refining what I do. I write down, well, what's working, what's not working, looking for ways to make things easier and more efficient. And that's what you and your team members should be doing. So, the other thing to this is having a sustainable business model. Okay. So you need a vision. If you do not have a vision for your business is going to go anywhere. It's important to have a clear, concise vision, and it needs to be compelling. It needs to read as a narrative, and it needs to be a reminder for you every day as you're making business decisions, one by one. Is this business decision going to keep me in a survival trap? Or is this decision going to help me towards my goals to achieve my vision? Not only do you need this vision, but your team members need it. Mm-hmm. So when your team members read your vision and they see themselves in it, they know the main thing they need to do to show up and support you.
Absolutely. And if I may, I'd love to share just more around my growth at Tap the Potential. Mm-hmm. Because the first time that I heard Dr. Sabrina share her vision, it probably took a few times for me to hear it, for it to really sink in. But when I heard that vision, I started to see how I could add value to the company because I had some strengths and skills that weren't known to the Tap the Potential team. And when I read that vision from Dr. Sabrina, probably the fourth or the sixth time when it finally started to sink in, and I say that because business owners come to us all the time and they say, oh, I read my vision and I got crickets. So it's okay if that happens to you. It takes us a little bit of time to hear that and let it sink in. And that really unlocked conversations with you and with Amy and with Dr. Sabrina to where I was showing an opportunity to bridge sales and marketing, combine those roles, and create a position like how to hire the best strategist because of that workforce development background, because of that marketing background, and because of really my why at Tap the Potential. But if I had not heard Dr. Sabrina's vision, I wouldn't have start to piece together how I could support her in accomplishing that. Mm-hmm. So now I've taken the time, we all on the leadership team take time to develop our personal and professional visions as they relate to the company vision. And it has unlocked things none of us thought were possible. And it's the reason why last year when you had taken over, the podcast or other activities that it supported us in being able to do those things. Mm-hmm. Because we really did understand where Dr. Sabrina was going, where we were going.
Yeah, for sure. I would not be the team member that I am today without that vision. Mm-hmm. No doubt in my mind. And on the leadership team, we write out our visions as well. And last year was a game changer. So I wrote out my vision January 2024. And as I reflected back to my vision, and I do recommend you do this every day as part of your self-care routine. So maybe you're journaling, looking at your wins, practicing gratitude, reading your vision will keep you focused. So as I'm reading my vision throughout the year, I started highlighting in green everything that I accomplished. I'm telling you, there was a 2-page vision. And this was professional life. This was personal life. Kaitlyn, I had everything highlighted except for one thing. Now, I want to put this in context, going back to the beginning of this podcast and when I shared the transition that I just went through. Mm-hmm. This is massive. This is a massive transfer. And I was asking for big, big things. It was incredible to identify all of those things at the beginning of the year, call them into my life, mm-hmm. and then go back and reflect and look on the wins. unbelievable. These were massive things, like buying my dream car. So we'll talk about tangible things, having my own space, because I had nothing but one outfit when I moved. Mm-hmm. Now I not only have so many clothes, I've donated several times bags of clothes. What's most important is I found the love of my life. I'm just got married a month ago. I have a stepson. I am living 30 minutes from you. I get to see you at least once a week. Mm-hmm. There is so much healing that has come as a part of practicing this vision. Mm-hmm. I'm working on a book now.
Yes, you are.
I love what I do serving our clients at Tap the Potential, and I've extended that over to Pumpkin Plan Your Biz and coaching pumpkin plan strategists. Mm-hmm. My life is peace. Without articulating that vision and writing it down and having a team to support me through it and recognizing all of these big wins, and especially those most important wins, opportunity to give and receive love and to be fully present in my personal life with my family, that's priceless. So when you involve your team by giving them your business vision and then supporting them to write their own vision, lives are going to change. One thing that I do want to share is it's hard for business owners to write their own visions. Mm. Because when we are writing a vision, we're writing this big dream. And as a business owner, you're caught in the day-to-day. You're thinking about the how rather than what it is that you want to accomplish. So if you need support to write your vision, we can support you through that. So reach out to Kaitlyn and go to tapthepotential.com and book a call, because we have opportunities. We shared the 8-player development course. We shared how to hire the best, our Better Business, Better Life program, but we also have VIP days with me. And one of our VIP experiences is I will talk with you. I'm going to listen to you, and I'm going to write that vision for you. Mm-hmm. And if you need more than that, we can carry that into one-on-one coaching, because we now have that available as well as our group coaching. So you are not expected to do this alone. We're here to support you. Kaitlyn, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you being here today on this particular episode of the Profit by Design podcast. You are truly an A player at life and work, and I adore you. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm so grateful for all of our team members and our clients as well, because without all of you, I wouldn't be sharing this beautiful story today. So this has been a true blessing to be able to show up and serve you by sharing my story.
Thank you, Melissa.